Good evening, Ghana, and welcome to this evening's edition of the Premier League show live here on Joy Sports on Multi TV. My name is Kwame, and as usual, we recap all that transpired over the weekend in the English Premier League. If you're a fan of Chelsea, well, it's another 3 very, very important points for your club. If you're a fan of Liverpool, you're getting very, very close. Manager Brendan Rodgers is still saying that Liverpool are not in for the reckoning, but if you've seen the form of Liverpool in the last couple of games that they've played in the English Premier League, I don't recall the last time I saw Liverpool win up to 4, 5, 6 matches on the trot. They are in very good form going into those weekend's fixtures, and who knows, Liverpool might just be in to surprise everyone. If you're a fan of Man City, though, they did not play in the English Premier League, but they played in the Capital One Cup final where they got a result against Sunderland. We're going to be bringing you all that and more live here on the Premier League show. We'll be back after this break. Premier League show live here on Joy Sports and Multi TV, where we take a look at what transpired over the weekend in the English Premier League. If you're a fan of Chelsea, it's a very good time to be associated with the club with just about 10 matches to go, and Chelsea sitting comfortably at the top. Man City have 2 games in hand, but you just never know on the English Premier League. As far as the results are concerned, anything could happen between now and match day 38. And who even said Liverpool do not stand a chance, or Arsenal still don't stand a chance? It's so close up at the top of the English Premier League log, and it's going to be a very interesting 10 days ahead of match day 38 when the last game is played in the English Premier League. I'm sure you're looking forward to the highlights package already, but this evening I do have a new guest on the show, if you like. Coach Isaac Opele Boateng joins me on the show. Coach, it's always a pleasure to have you in our studios, and I'm sure for you, I know you to be a fan of Liverpool, and what would you make of your season this year? I mean, no one would have thought that Liverpool would be challenging for honours in the Premiership.
Yeah, I'm really surprised about the performance of Liverpool, because if you look at what happened last season, they trailed 28 points behind the team that won the Premiership. And so going into this season, a lot of people thought Liverpool could not do so well, like they will be around the 4th or 5th position trying to enter the Champions League position. But now Liverpool, they've become contenders. You see, so they've really surprised everyone, but the credit goes to Brendan Rodgers. He's been able to show that performance or being able to be a contender in the Premiership is not about money. You see, looking at the likes of Henderson, though they bought him for 16 million, but it wasn't he did not worth that amount of money. 16 million, too much for such a player. But then he's be able to have the Raheem Sterling, Daniel Sturridge, Suarez and Giroud and co. He's done so well to keep this Liverpool team together for them to reach such a stage.
Liverpool doing so well in the English Premier League this season, and I'm sure you're looking forward to the highlights package which commences the program. Let's get to see the highlights of games played over the weekend.
Labour's Fulham, a daunting task for Felix Magath in his first home game in charge of the Cottagers. Fulham attempting to halt a run of 7 league games without a win had the better of a first half, with chances few and far between. A collision of minds with Kieran Richardson left Hangeland worse for wear and having to make way. Even without their skipper, Fulham remained well structured and continued to give the league leaders a run for their money. Martin Stecklenburg pulled off a fine save to deny Fernando Torres and keep the scores level. Andre Schürrle put the Blues in front just after the break, after being played in on goal by Eden Hazard.
That's the moment for Chelsea, and they take it.
Hazard, showing sublime skill, put in a cross for Torres at the far post, but Richardson got in front of the Spaniard to clear the danger. The Blues remained on the front foot with Hazard class personified. His cleverly weighted pass set up Schürrle once more. Fulham were at 6s and 7s in defence, and the German was having an afternoon to remember.
A clinical hat-trick from Jerry Schürrle.
The Blues then failed to deal with a corner late on, and the Cottagers pulled a goal back through John Heitinga. The 3-1 victory gives Chelsea their 100th league win in London derbies and keeps them at the summit of the Premier League.
Expense of Stoke City. With scrappy play dominating the early exchanges, chances on goal were short in supply, with the Londoners the more active in front of goal, despite the stop-start nature of the match. Following the half-hour mark, both Wojciech Szczesny and Asmir Bergovic breathed a sigh of relief, as Peter Crouch and Lucas Podolski shot wide with a goal in sight. The two stoppers would be called on with half-time approaching. Glenn Whelan denied a goal on his 400th appearance for Stoke, while Santi Cazorla was prevented from scoring his 5th goal of the league campaign. The presence of Crouch up front continued to menace the Gunners' defence after the break, the lanky forward showing his liking for the spectacular and using his famed height advantage to stretch Arsenal's number one. Pressure mounting on the visitors' goal, Laurent Koscielny conceded a penalty in the 75th minute, handling a Jonathan Walters chip before the latter stepped up to break the deadlock.
One big kick for Jonathan Walters. Stoke City just love a visit from the big teams.
Starting off the bench, Mesut Ozil came close to grabbing the equaliser, but shot narrowly wide with time ticking down. Despite late pressure, including an overcooked Yaya Sanogo chance, Stoke would hold on for a famous win, as Arsenal continue to lose ground on their title aspirations.
Against host Southampton, also on a good run of form, having won 4 of their previous 5 league encounters. In a frenetic start to the game, the Reds dominated the early exchanges. The league's 2 top goal scorers, Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge, combined well in the 6th minute, only for Jose Rajafuente to put in a telling interception to deny the Uruguayan. 10 minutes later, however, and Suarez would break the deadlock with his 24th goal of the season, ending his 6-hour, 52-minute league goal drought.
It's broken here for the man they just didn't want it to fall to, Luis Suarez. Unstoppable Liverpool striking prowess once again.
The Uruguayan missed the chance to add his second. His free kick from just outside the 18-yard box, not troubling the Saints keeper. The home side fought back, but unfortunately Adam Lallana's shot was denied by the woodwork. Then just before the break, Liverpool's goalkeeper Simon Mignolet was called into action again with a brilliant save, this time denying Jay Rodriguez. Liverpool led 1-0 at the break. Brendan Rodgers brought on Raheem Sterling in place of Coutinho, and a minute and a half later the 19-year-old was celebrating his 6th goal of the season. Sturridge, who has scored in every one of Liverpool's last 8 games, had the opportunity to make it 9. However, the acute angle proved too much. Captain Fantastic Steven Gerrard tried his luck from range, which just went wide of target. Then in time added on, Suarez was awarded a penalty when he was brought down in the area by Fonte. The responsibility of the spot kick was left to the Red skipper.
Title challengers, you better believe it.
3-0 the final score as Brendan Rodgers' side climbed to new heights on the English Premier League log. Newcastle United boss Alan Pardew looks set to land himself in hot water with the FA after appearing to headbutt David Mailer during their 4-1 win over Hull City at the Casey Stadium. The incident flared up towards the end of the clash, resulting in the Magpies boss being sent to the bleachers for the rest of the match. Afterwards, Pardew said he regretted the incident.
It was just a heat of the moment thing, and obviously I massively regret it, and I'm going to have to sit down from now on, because that's about 2 or 3 incidents I've been involved with on the line, so that'll be me sitting down from now on as a manager.
Aggregate and progressed through to the last 16 of the competition. Tom Sherwood's side turned their focus back to the Barclays Premier League at home against relegation-threatened Cardiff City. The Lily White showed early intent, Soldado failing to control his effort in the 2nd minute. Spurs defender Michael Dawson saw his headed effort from Kyle Norton's corner kick flash wide of the Cardiff goals. The deadlock was finally broken just before the half-hour mark, Soldado breaking his 4-month goal drought.
Soldado! How he has waited for that! Tottenham needed it, but boy did he need it!
The visitors' best chance of the half came off the head of Stephen Corker from a corner kick that rattled the woodwork. Cardiff City finished off the half on the attack as Hugo Lloris was brought into action again. Declan John shot, forcing a fine save out of the Tottenham number 1 as Spurs maintained a 1-0 lead into the break. There were very limited chances for either side in the second half, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team digging their heels in defence, while Spurs were forced to shoot from range. Andros Townsend's shots going over the top of the crossbar. Then substitute Harry Kane on for Soldado had the opportunity to add the host second, but he was denied by the on-rushing David Marshall in the Cardiff goals. 1-0 the match ended in favour of Tim Sherwood's side, while the game marked 400 minutes since Cardiff scored their last Premier League goal.
Tiote for Loic Remy. Debuchy making grounds to his right. Good pullback there and a goal! Sissoko! And Newcastle United, having gone so close to conceding a minute ago, take the lead through Moussa Sissoko. Good link-up play initially by Remy and Debuchy. It's an excellent cutback too, and Sissoko caught it true. McGregor given no chance whatsoever in the Hull City goal. Newcastle with 5 in the wall. It will be Jelavic, and against the bar. Krul unable to get a touch to that, and Yanga Mbiwa nods it away. Just wonder if it took a little flick on its way through this from Jelavic. Yeah, it just took a flick off somebody in the wall, and that might have taken it up and beyond Krul. There's the flick, and only the woodwork. Is there an equaliser for Hull City just before half-time? Well, it might get even worse. That's too short from Figueroa. Brilliant by Remy. McGregor committed himself, and Remy makes it 2-0 Newcastle and punishes that horrendously short back pass by Maynor Figueroa. Well, it's a shocker from the Honduran international here. Just inside his own half, it's far too short. McGregor tried to get him out of trouble and couldn't. And Remy, so calm, took his time, took aim, and rolls it in. That's his 13th goal of the season. And Hull City have a mountain to climb now. Jelavic with the touch on. Long trying to get the better of Williamson. The defender just pushing him to the deck. Huddleston over it. Bruce and Davis up from the back. El Mohammadi is in there too. Krul tried to get there and didn't get there, and Hull City are back in it. And it's Curtis Davis. Scored on Monday here in the FA Cup tie. And in the space of a week, he's taken his tally for the season to 3. But Tim Krul, who produced that fabulous double save in the first half, was at fault here. Having come that far, he's got to get to it. Have plenty of defenders there to deal with this cross. What a start to the second half for Hull City. Gouffron seizing upon the loose ball. Gouffron, can he get the shot away? Yes, he can. McGregor save, and a tap in for Sissoko. 3-1 Newcastle United. 10 minutes into the second half. Newcastle restore their 2-goal advantage. Figueroa couldn't clear properly. Gouffron was quickly in on it, testing McGregor with his shot, and Sissoko following in just helps himself to his second goal with a glimmer of an opportunity. And Myler and Alan Pardew just squaring up to each other, and Pardew, oh dear, 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 he looked there as though he put his forehead into the face of David Myler. Oh, it's all boiling over here now. I just wonder how clear of view referee Kevin Friend or his assistant on this near side, John Flynn, had of that. It's a yellow card for David Myler, but I don't think Alan Pardew has got away with it just yet. He's been sent off. Alan Pardew's sent off, and I rather feel that there might be further implications when the powers that be get the view of the incident that we've just had. Innocuous really, as Myler went for the ball. There's the tangle initially. Pardew unhappy, and there. You cannot do that. Players should not be doing it, and certainly managers shouldn't. So now Alan Pardew has to watch the rest of proceedings from up on high in the main stand. Myler losing out to De Jong, and he can release Remy. Can he get away from Bruce? Yes, he can. Brought down by Davis, wasn't he? Well, no penalty given. Definite contact. The only question was whether or not it should have been a penalty or a free kick. Maybe there will be a fourth goal before the final whistle. Dummett. Gosling. Hull looking ever so tired. Gosling is away from Myler, is it? Lost his footing, in goes Dummett! And it's a tap-in! Vernon Anita, with his first ever Premier League goal, makes it 4-1 Newcastle. The fresh legs of Dan Gosling meant business. When he slipped, Dummett took over, and McGregor's pour away fell invitingly for Vernon Anita. What a convincing win at the end of the day for Alan Pardew, but his memories today will be tarnished by his stupidity in getting involved with David Myler.
Tells you everything. You know, as Alan said, Myler just pushes past him to get the ball. You know, there's a bit of aggression there in Pardew to make a couple of steps towards him, but then to do this is just completely inexcusable. You know, he says he throws his head forward to brush him away. You know, I would say that is a headbutt. It's a
definite headbutt. And I think that Steve Bruce is right. Myler does really well, because he could have gone down, rolled about the place, and it would look even worse. But
well, let's get to see a lot more highlights from the English Premier League played over the weekend. And this was the game between Swansea and Crystal Palace. Swansea needing points if they would want to survive the English Premier League this season. Some celebration in there. Don't you love it? These guys have their own way of doing things. Jonathan the Guzman scoring for Swansea very, very early in the game. Swansea have been very poor travellers all season, but when they play at the Liberty Stadium in Wales, they put in some spectacular performances, thus being one of them. And how about this for a finish? Some intricate passing there, and Jonathan de Guzman. Swansea clearly missed him for a greater part of the season when he was injured. He's come back, and he's been scoring some very, very, very important goals for the Swans. And, well, you just love to see that over and over and over again. Their own way of celebrating. Swansea doing everything they could to pick up all 3 points on the day. And was he the last man? There was clearly someone behind the goalkeeper. What is a referee Mike Dean going to do from this sport? Well, he whistles for an infringement. And what does he do? He sends of Rangel. Much to the surprise of everyone. Well, this was the game between Everton and West Ham United. Only one goal in this game, courtesy this man. Well, it's not good enough for Chelsea, but everywhere he's been since, he's been scoring goals for fun. Romelu Lukaku scoring yet again for the Toffees in their game against West Ham United. And Belgium would clearly be looking forward to this man doing the business for them in the World Cup if he stays fit. Scoring a lot of goals. He could easily, though, have been playing for DR Congo, where his parents hail from. Romelu Lukaku, only 20 years old, big, strong striker, just failed to glitter when he was at Chelsea, and when he had those opportunities, he's come to Everton, not too much pressure there, and he's showing his worth. And thus was the game between Aston Villa and Norwich. They say Norwich, not Norwich. And the Canaries, as they are nicknamed, would get the first goal of the game at Villa Park. And you'd have thought that that would lead them to getting 3 very important and precious points. Very difficult game thus was for Aston Villa. They needed the points desperately, and Christian Benteke would oblige and get the goals. Oh, what a finish. What a finish from another player who could also have been playing for DR Congo. He's choosing to play for Belgium. He scores yet again for Aston Villa. And you'd want to imagine the strike force of Christian Benteke and Romelu Lukaku playing for DR Congo. And what a force they would have been if they were playing in African competitions. Well, they've chosen to play for Belgium. You'd have to respect their decision. You can add Vincent Kompany if you like. His father Also hailing from DR Congo, he's also choosing to play for Belgium. It's crazy. Aston Villa scoring goals for fun at this point. Another player who could have been playing for England, playing for Nigeria, he also chose to play for England. Gabriel Agbonlahor there. His father is Nigerian. His mother is from Scotland. He was born in Birmingham and chose to represent the Three Lions. Sebastian Bassong, though, he was born in France to Cameroonian parents, and he is choosing to play for the Indomitable Lions. Aston Villa scoring goals for fun at this point. 4-1. This game ended. It could have been more. It could have been more if they had taken all their chances. So those were the highlights of games that were honored over the weekend in the English Premier League. Coach, you did see the goals. Some very, very fantastic goals there.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic goals. Luis Suarez won, and then Benteke's scissor kick to score that goal. And then we've seen a host of them, you know. But then the shocking one was the Arsenal loss to Stoke City.
It's very shocking.
Yes, I wonder how they lost that game, because if you look at the statistics, Arsenal had 53% of possession, but then they had only 2 shots at goal. It's so funny, you know. I don't know how they were able to possess the ball, but they had only 2 shots at goal. I don't know why Arsene Wenger usually do not allow his players to have a shot at goal. You have to improvise at times, but they prefer.
Well, he loves the intricate passing, passing the ball around, keep passing, keep passing, keep passing.
Even in front of goal, they want to pass. They will always want beauty. There was a time when Adebayo was with Arsenal, they used to pass about 4 passes inside the 18-yard box, and that was strange. So to me, Arsenal losing by 1 goal to 0 to Stoke City.
And that has cost them. They are now 4 points behind Chelsea.
Yeah.
Liverpool have even moved ahead of the Gunners on goal difference.
Yes, definitely. And Liverpool are doing so well. The pundits in the UK have credited Brendan Rodgers, who also happened to be a student of the game. You know, he do not have a credible football background as a footballer, for being able to allow these boys to play free flow attacking football. Because majority of people thought that because of the squad that he's got, he was going to play on the counter attack. Maybe he would try not to lose because of, like I said earlier on, of 28 points adrift of the league leaders or those who won the
last season.
So he would have gone in with a counter attacking style to keep his job. But he's been able to come out and play free flow football. And so to me, that has really helped Brendan Rodgers' Liverpool, and it has helped the boys to be able to express themselves. Look at Raheem Sterling. Look at how he's been able to play with speed and punish. You see, so to me, I think they've done so well, and we need to give credit to Liverpool. Winning 3 goals is not easy. Luis Suarez, Raheem Sterling, and Steven Gerrard completing the scoreline with that incredible penalty kick. You know, he's an expert in that. So to me, we need to give credit to them. But then one other match that really also surprised me was Shirley scoring a hat-trick.
Andre Schürrle for Chelsea.
Yes, fantastic. He's an incredible chap, and he's going to be a border for us in the World Cup. The way he attacked the ball.
He plays for Germany.
Yes, his placement of the ball and everything, fantastic. I hear Jose Mourinho did not talk to the team at halftime. He said that,
well, that's what he says.
Yeah, he said that he did not talk at all. Usually he allows his boys to take water and then change their jerseys for 2-3 minutes. But this time he kept quiet throughout because he did not understand why they were not scoring in the first half. And they went to do the job. To me, credit to Chelsea, because let us not forget, Fulham has got a very good coach in Felix Magath.
Yeah.
Magath is an expert in terms of taking teams out of relegation zones and the rest. So to me, we need to give credit to Chelsea. But then Jose should not be so down, because Fulham were really fighting. You know, they are almost at the same place in the UK.
Yeah, they're all in West London.
Yeah, West London.
Some few
so it
miles
was a local
away.
derby. I do not know why Jose was looking at his points and Fulham on the league table. Local derby is a local derby. So to me, I think Shirley has done really well.
Andre Schürrle, for a lot of our fanatics out there, he you know, on the evidence of the hat-trick that he scored over the weekend, would pass for the player of the weekend in the English Premier League. Some amazing goals being scored in the Premier League over the weekend. He topping it with that 3 important goals and 3 equally important points for Jose Mourinho. Might that just be enough if Chelsea would want to win the English Premier League yet again? Well, there are still 10 more games to play. 30 points up for grabs. Could go anyway come the end of that season. We're done with the highlights package now. Now we're going to be having a look at the players who made a difference for the clubs by scoring those amazing goals that we want to see over the weekend. So we get to see our top 5 goals that were honored over the weekend with goal number 5 beginning it.
Well, it may get even worse. That's too short from Figueroa. Brilliant by Remy. McGregor committed himself, and Remy makes it 2-0 Newcastle and punishes that horrendously short back pass by Manuel Figueroa. Well, it's a shocker from the Honduran international here. Just inside his own half, it's far too short. McGregor tried to get him out of trouble and couldn't. And Remy, so calm, took his time.
This is our goal number 5 for the week, going to Frenchman Loic Remy. He's been scoring some very, very crucial goals for Newcastle all season, and they will be very, very happy with this one on the back of Hull being on some very good form going into this game. Coach, I'm not too sure what you make of this goal, but very, very important goal there.
Look at the goal. The player who did so well was the one who pressed the defender who gave the back pass. He did well by putting pressure on him, and he also rounded off the goalkeeper and that, you see, he was being pressed, and so that's why he gave that pass, and he did so well. Remy did well by placing the ball in the net.
We got to watch it for a final time.
Who gave the pressure?
It's very important when you watch some of these games, because a lot of people will think, well, goal scoring is easy, especially when you're being paid a lot of money to do so. But no one would even remember those gentlemen in the pics who actually put pressure on Figueroa to give that back pass. Everyone is going to remember Remy for the goal.
Definitely. That's why sometimes you need to have that technical eye to see who forced the defender to cause that blunder.
Loic Remy scoring our goal number 5 over the weekend. Let's move on and get to see our goal number 4. Well, this is our goal number 4 over the weekend, and thus was scored in the game between Aston Villa and Norwich. 3 very, very crucial points. Paul Lambert has been struggling to get results at Villa Park all season, and when the results have come, they've had to sweat it out for them, and thus one of the most important goals, if you like, that they would score here, that gave them an unassailable 3-point lead. They would go on to score a 4th goal to win this game by 4-1. But coach, again, for my technical team in the house, why they would want to go for this goal as goal number 4 is the placement. He could have just decided to shoot,
yes,
but you see, he goes. He uses his body to dummy the attacking defender, and then he chooses to pick a spot. Brilliant goal.
There are 2 types of controls. We have the cushion control and the wedge control. The wedge is the one that you release the ball. This wedge, bam, you get it. He use the wedge control, and then he plays the ball where he wants the ball to go. So the cushion is when you cushion it to stop it, but the wedge is when you release the ball to go. That's it, wedge, and bam. So that's brilliant goal.
Brilliant goal in there. Aston Villa, they needed these 3 points, and that would cushion them in the English Premier League. Where are they going to be come the end of the season? Well, we're going to be showing you the log later in the table, and then you have a fair idea of who is come match day 28. Let's move on and get to see our goal number 3.
Just after the break, that being played in on goal by Eden Hazard.
That's the moment for Chelsea, and they take it.
Put the Blues in front just after the break, that being played in on goal by Eden Hazard.
So this was our goal number 3 over the weekend, courtesy Andreas Schuler. He would go on to score a hat-trick for the Blues. But coach, again, the technique about this goal is the first touch he makes here. takes the ball away from the defender. Very, very important. He could have just nodded the ball on and just followed through. But he heads the ball in a direction where contact with him is a sending of offense.
Yes, but Kwame, the technical point here is that the ball, when it shows it, you see the ball coming in, cuts in front of the defender. That's the key factor here. You go in front of the defender so that when he touches you, he brings you down. It can be a red card because he was the last man at that point. So that's the main trick in it. The control was fantastic, as you said, but cutting in front of the defender, cut is the key point there. You see, fantastic goal. Brilliant.
Andres Schürrle would go on to score 2 more goals for Chelsea and the Blues. What a result this was for them. That game being played not too far from the bridge at the Craven Cottage, and Chelsea will be very, very happy with those 3 crucial points. Let's move on and get to see our goal number 2.
To his right. Good pull back there and a goal! Sissoko! And Newcastle United, having gone so close to conceding a minute ago, take the lead through Moussa Sissoko. Good link-up play initially by Remy and Debuchy. It's an excellent cutback too, and Sissoko caught it true. McGregor given no chance whatsoever.
So this was our goal number 2, and again, coach, it boils down to the technique of the player. Some players might have taken a first touch, some would have decided to do their own thing, but it's called instinct. Even before the pass comes in, you should know what to do. He takes it first time, and brilliant goal it was.
This, I quite remember at Temayuf, this was one of our rehearsed goals. You know, the ball sent in, and I wanted the ball to go to the flank. You know, the ball is sent to the flank, cut back, bang. You see, when it happens like that, you know, there are 2 rules in this situation. When the ball is cut back and you are in the 18-yard box, you have to use the instep to place the ball. If you are outside the box, then you have to use your laces to shoot at goal. So, you know, the ball goes to the flank, cut back, you use the instep, bam, that's the technique to just place the ball inside the net.
From that distance, if you go with the instep, it might just go up. You just have to make sure that you use the right technique.
Inside of the foot to just the instep to just put it there. But if you use the laces, that's when you are outside the 18-yard box to shoot. But when you are inside the box, you use the inside of the foot to just place the ball.
Well, later in the show, we're going to be bringing you that goal that Samir Nasri did score in the Capital One Cup final, and that I'll be giving you an indication of what coach means by using the laces. He scored some screamer in there with, you know, that side of his foot. What a goal it was. We're going to be bringing you that later in the show. But now we've got in to see our goal number 5, goal number 4, goal number 3, goal number 2. Let's get to see our goal number 1 for the weekend. And this was our goal number 1 of the weekend. I recall coach talking a lot about this during the highlights package segment. Christian Benteke. What a goal this was, coach.
Yes,
I'm not too sure what you make of this, but
fantastic control.
Finish.
Yes, controls the ball with his chest up high, and then uses the scissor kick technique. You know, some of these things are usually what we call in the coaching term as improvisation. This is not taught by the coach. You, the striker, have to use your own way to score. That's he improvised, and it worked for the team. Could have gone over, could have even missed the ball in the air, and the supporters would say, "Ow!" But then he improvised, and it worked for him. And these things are not usually taught by coaches. The only thing that we teach is the control of the ball on the chest. But then he did improvisation.
Brilliant improvisation there, and that would have given Aston Villa a very, very crucial goal in there. They would go on to win this game by 4-1. So now we've seen our highlights package. We've seen our top 5 goals for the weekend. The goalkeepers have also been putting in their bets. We'll get to see our top 3 saves over the weekend, beginning with save number 3.
Simon Mignolet was called into action again with a brilliant save, this time denying Jay Rodriguez. Liverpool led 1-0 at the break. Simon Mignolet was called into action again with a brilliant save, this time.
So this is our save number 3 over the weekend. Then, coach, this is what my pundits thought when we're deciding on which save will come out tops, which would come out second, which will come out third. Watch the movement of our goalkeeper Simon Mignolet, and you would understand why. He was moving in one direction. He quickly had to improvise and move towards the other direction.
The reaction was very, very quick. That's a reflex. You see, like it went down there, and to me, that's fantastic save. But then, if I'm the coach, I'll blame the player, because the goalkeeper was moving to this direction. He left a wide gap at the other side. He should have placed it there. Look, should have gone.
Very big gap there.
So it's the player's fault. But then the goalkeeper has done well by reacting quickly to make that save.
James Rodriguez could have easily brought Southampton to level terms if that ball had gone in. But you have to give a lot of credit to goalkeeper Simon Mignolet winning our save number 3 over the weekend. Who went our save number 2? Let's have a look.
The 2 stoppers would be called on with half-time approaching. Glenn Whelan denied a goal on his 400th appearance for Stoke. While the 2 stoppers would be called on with half-time approaching. Glenn Whelan denied a goal on his 400th appearance for Stoke. While the 2 stoppers would...
So this is our save number 2 for the weekend, and that was the game involving Stoke and Arsenal, where at some point in the game, watch that, 50-50, a ball possession in there. Very close game. Stoke using their huge body sizes to bully the Arsenal players and getting a penalty right at the death to get that lone goal victory. But credit would have to go to Wojciech Szczesny for this one.
Fantastic.
That could have gone in.
Yeah, fantastic. You know, the player used the lazies outside the 18, like I said. But the goalkeeper parries the ball to where there are no...
some goalkeepers would have even parried it back into play.
Yeah, but he did it fantastic by parrying it to where there were no opposing player there. So, to me, fantastic.
Very, very unfortunate there. Very, very unfortunate there for that Stoke player. He could have easily been a hero in those spots. We've seen save number 3, save number 2. Let's have a look at our topmost save over the weekend.
Out of City finish off the half on the attack as Hugo Lloris was brought into action again. Declan John shot, forcing a fine save out to the Tottenham number 1 as Spurs maintained a 1-0 lead into the break. Out of City finish off the half on the attack as Hugo Lloris was brought into action again.
So this is our topmost save of the week, which was a 2-pronged save. When you watch the replay, you get to see from this angle, he makes the save and he bats the ball away because... I mean, if the player reacts again, it means the ball is coming back at him again.
Yes.
He makes the save.
Super save, Kwame. Super save.
And then he kicks the ball away to safety as well.
Yeah, goalkeepers are trained that way. At the training grounds, they are trained that if you save the ball, you have to stand up quickly. Or if you save, you have to react. And that's exactly what he did. Saved one and reacted to the next one. Fantastic save. That's why he's always in the post. And to me, he's a very good goalkeeper.
Hugo Lloris winning our save number 1 for the week. Some brilliant save. And there, first with the hand and then with the feet, Spurs would go on to win that game by a lone goal courtesy Roberto Soldado. We're going to be going for a break at this point. When we come back, there's a lot more to enjoy on the Premier League show. Premier League show live on Joy Sports on Multi TV, where we take a retrospective look at what transpired in the English Premier League over the weekend. In the segments gone by, we've had a look at the highlights package that has to do with the highlights of all the games that were honored over the weekend. We've seen our top 5 goals for the week as well. Christian Benteke winning our goal of the week, and of course we've acknowledged the efforts of the goalkeepers with our coach Hugo Lloris of Spurs winning our top save of the week. Now, away from this, there almost always seem to be one controversy or the other when games are honored in the English Premier League. Last weekend, we were able to pick up 2 of those very, very debatable issues, and here on the segment, that's a controversy segment of the show, we take a look at what exactly transpired.
The glimmer of an opportunity. And Myler and Alan Pardew just squaring up to each other, and Pardew, oh dear, dear, dear. He looked there as though he put his forehead into the face of David Myler. Oh, it's all boiling over here now. I just wonder how clear of view referee Kevin Friend or his assistant on this near side, John Flynn, had of that. It's a yellow card for David Myler, but I don't think Alan Pardew has got away with it just yet. He's been sent off. Alan Pardew sent off, and I rather feel that there might be...
Well, so this is the first one that we picked up over the weekend. Coach, I'm not too sure if you've been you've ever found yourself in a situation where you've had to confront a player on the pitch, but this from Alan Pardew was unbelievable.
Yeah, I've done one before. It was against Liberty Professionals, Tema Youth.
What could have provoked you to do that?
The player kicked the ball at me, Richard Kisi Boatin. It was then with Liberty. Throw, it came, bam, the ball on my tummy. So I also took the ball and smashed it on his face, and to revenge. Because
were you sent off?
No, I wasn't sent off. The referee just came to tell us, oh, cool, we should just forget about everything. But then people were criticizing me, but I was like, no, he intentionally did that.
Well, that was in the past, but in this particular situation, I mean, it makes it very difficult to, understand what exactly, Alan Pardew was thinking when he did this. I mean, the English Premier League has cameras everywhere. Yeah. Even if it was missed by the referee, the assistant ref or one of these cameras could have easily picked it.
Yeah, the way the player behaved initially wasn't well. Walking through a football manager, you have to respect him. I don't think you can do that to Jose Mourinho. But then, how the player did, he went in and maybe he wanted to say something to him. Maybe the player might have said something.
Unfortunately, he's a manager. Hear that.
Yeah, he's a manager. So he felt like, oh, let me do something to this guy. So it was just an instinct, a bad one at that particular time for him. I will condemn it. It wasn't good, but the player too did not do well at all.
Very, very poor. On the part of, both the player and the coach Alan Pardew, who has been fined £100,000 by Newcastle United. A lot of money, if you ask me. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. 300,000 Ghana cedi plus thereabout for just that incident. And of course, he's been charged by the FA, and he has up to 6 p.m. on Thursday to putting a case. That is if he wants to do so. But what I am hearing and the information I'm picking up is that he's accepted the charge of the FA, and it will be interesting to see the length of the ban by the PFA for this particular incident. Well, we caught up with another particular incident, and Arsenal fans have been berating the referee for giving this penalty in that game against Stoke. Let's get to see that right about now, and you would understand what I'm talking about.
75th minute, handling a Jonathan Walters chip before the latter stepped up to break the deadlock.
The glimmer of an opportunity. And Myler
ceded a penalty in the 75th minute, handling a Jonathan Walters chip before the latter stepped up to break the deadlock. Ceded a penalty in the 75th minute, handling a Jonathan Walters chip before the latter stepped up.
I'm not too sure what you make of this particular incident, but I'm not too sure what Koscielny could have done in this situation. His hands were already high up in the air, and the ball just...
Yeah, but I don't think your arms should be up when you are defending.
Well, the ball was already in the air, and his hands were already in the air from the replay.
Yeah, so, that's why they say penalties are awarded. You see, the referee awarded a penalty. So it's always at the discretion of the referee. It's the referee who decides. So to me,
Arsene Wenger called it a very soft penalty.
Yeah, but it has been awarded. It's like a university degree. It's awarded. So he came defending with his arms high up. To me, it's a penalty. He could have had his hand behind him or below the chest or something like that. Penalty.
Arsenal fans would not forgive the centre ref in this particular instance.
Look at how he defended. His hand was, look.
The case Mr. Wenger and Arsenal fans have been making all weekend is that his hands was already high up in the air. There was nothing he could have done about it.
What was his hand doing high above his head in defending? Your hand should always be down. That's why even in free kicks or at times in certain 1v1 situations, we see players putting their hands behind them. But you come with your hands above your head to defend. To me, it's a penalty. To me, at my discretion.
Well, if you're the ref, you have given the penalty, and that's exactly what the ref did on the day. Arsenal suffering from this penalty decision, costing them 3 very, very important points. Let's now catch up with some news on the English Premier League. And if you've been following the Capital Cup 1, series on Joy Sports in the build-up to the final, you'd have known that Man City and Sunderland were up for this game in Wembley. Let's catch up the highlights.
The final of the English season was decided on Sunday as Manchester City and Sunderland clashed at Wembley. Both Manuel Pellegrini and Gus Poyet were looking to claim a major trophy at the first time of asking. City were bolstered by the return of Sergio Aguero from injury as they looked to make amends in the capital for the FA Cup defeat to Wigan last year. But Sunderland came into the game with confidence, having won the last 2 meetings with City, and the North East outfit struck first.
Johnson looking for Barini. And Barini gets goal sign of company. Chance and a goal! Fabio Barini with a fabulous moment for Sunderland. And of all the defenders to be caught out, it was the normally silky smooth company.
After going a goal down, City were presented with a half chance, but Samir Nasri couldn't quite get the desired connection on Aguero's delivery. Sebastian Larsson then played Barini in on goal, but an unbelievable last-ditch tackle from Vincent Kompany prevented the goalscorer from getting a shot away, with only Kostel Pantilimon to beat. After going a goal down, City hit back with Africa's Footballer of the Year showing his class.
Touré! Fantastic! And his own personal Wembley hat-trick. He scored in an FA Cup semi, an FA Cup final, and now the final of the League Cup.
Nasri then fired the Mancunians in front.
First time hit, 2-1, Nasri. Wonderfully clean strike. 2 goals in 90 seconds have turned the Capital One Cup final on its head.
Despite the Black Cats trying their utmost to get back on level terms, Blue Moon was ringing around Wembley from the City fans.
So after
Jesus Navas wrapped things up.
Jesus Navas! The Capital One Cup is heading to Manchester City.
It was a 3rd Capital One Cup triumph in the club's history. Pellegrini, the first South American coach to claim the English League Cup, will be hoping his side can continue their form on all fronts.
And word we're getting from England is that Samir Nasri has been granting interviews, and he's been saying that if Yaya Toure were a Brazilian or an Argentine, he would have been receiving a lot of plaudits after this goal. But for the fact that he's from here, no one talks about him.
That's true. That's why Sol Campbell has even come out to say he would have captained the English team.
Exactly.
But for his colour. So to me, I think Nasri is right. Fantastic goal. I've never seen such a goal before. Usually see such goals from...
He's been scoring some amazing goals all season.
Yes, and you see such goals being scored by Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
The Messis, the Ronaldos, and players like that.
Yes, and Ibrahimovic especially, who scored
some crazy goals sometimes.
So, to me, credit to Yaya Toure.
Yeah, Toure, what a job he's doing for Man City. And if City end up winning a lot more laurels, I'm sure it's going to be down to one of the finest midfielders we have seen in our generation. Let's now catch up with some gossip now and get to see a lot more news emanating from the English Premier League. That should be on the screen pretty shortly. So here we are. Liverpool said to be interested in signing Argentine winger Nicolas Gaitan from Benfica. Well, he's been courted by many clubs for as long as I can remember, but for whatever reason, he's always ended up at the club. Edin Dzeko scoring 17 times for City in all competitions. We are told that Inter Milan are interested in signing him. And of course, Bayern Munich midfielder Toni Kroos, he was unplayable in that game against Arsenal. And word coming through from Germany is that Manchester United are very hard on his trail. Would he make the transition from Munich to Manchester? Well, we'll get to see in the summer. And Inter set to be on the trail for Edin Dzeko, who's scoring some goals for them. And we'll be looking forward to a lot more gossip here. And there you are, Tottenham closing in to bring Anderlecht midfielder Ismail Zawi, who is only 16, to White Hart Lane. And coach, this situation with these kind of names in Belgium is a very interesting one. Yeah. When you go to Belgium and Holland, there is a huge Moroccan population in there. And for these kids, for one reason or the other, they don't end up playing for Morocco. They either end up playing for either Belgium or playing for Holland. And this young kid is said to be one of them. Marwan Fellaini, he could have been playing for Morocco as well. And he's choosing to play for Belgium. Jermaine Jenas, former Spurs player, these days playing with QPR. He wants to commit his long-term future to the club they play in the Championship these days. And Manchester United said to be looking at a Freiburg centre-back, Matthias Ginter. Would he move? Well, he's been called up by Germany for the friendly international later this weekend. And Manchester United will look to loan defender Michael Keane to Blackburn as they promise to give him regular games. So we get to see the results of all the games that were honoured over the weekend. A lot of clubs staying out of action for Capital One Cup commitments. Aston Villa getting a result, 4-1 against Norwich. Swansea getting a 1-0 draw, and it was Tottenham getting a result against Cardiff. Everton winning by a lone goal against West Ham United. Chelsea getting a result on the road. Hull City losing at home to Newcastle United. Stoke winning 1-0 against Arsenal. And Liverpool, what a season it's standing out for them. They defeated Southampton by 3-0 at the St. Mary's Stadium. We'll get to see the league table pretty shortly, and then you'd find out who is after match day 28. So here we are, Chelsea on top, 63 points. They have a goal difference of plus 30, but watch the goal difference of Man City, 42. They have 2 games in hand. Now, what that means is that if Man City win their next 2 games, they go top of the English Premier League. It's as simple as that. And it's very close. Liverpool on 59, Arsenal on 59, Spurs on 53. Everton, they started the season very well as well. They are on 48. Man United, how many points behind Chelsea? 18 points. It's going to be a miracle if they end up usurping all these clubs. Newcastle United, Southampton, and West Ham United in the first part of the table. We'll get to see the second part of the table shortly. It's Aston Villa and coach, watch this. 31, 30, 30, 29, 28, 27, 25, 24, 22, 21. It's only 11 points separating, it's only 10 points separating 11th and 21st. So results are going to be very, very important in subsequent games. Let's get to see the matches that are coming up this. Okay, top goal scorers first, and then we'll get to see matches coming up. So Luis Suarez, he's on 24 goals, got a goal over the weekend against Southampton. 2 Liverpool players actually up there.